Hey yo everybody, XEI here for a very quick channel update. I try to do these weekly, just two parts of that. Keep you guys informed. Second part, to make myself accountable for the things I'm saying because they get recorded somewhere, they get sent to you guys, and then you guys can make sure that I stay on track. So, I've got one of those opportunities at work where I've got vacation days that if I do not use them, I will lose them. So, throughout the rest of this month, I'm going to be trying to take 1 or 2 days a week off. Those days are going to be devoted to this channel, recording content for it, just getting a significant enough backlog so I don't feel like I'm trying to keep up with this and just really exerting myself. I was very tired the last 2 weeks, which is why I also had to take a couple days off of the channel. But I will say right now, here are the things that I've lined up that I'm committing to between today and the new year, where this channel will officially turn 1 year old. So first things first, I want to do all of the origins. I have 5 origins left that I want to complete. I've already recorded 2 of them. I've done the Dwarf Commoner, which you guys are seeing on the channel right now. The last episode will be on Monday. I've already recorded the Dwarf Noble, and I really enjoy that one more than I thought I was going to enjoy. You guys will see it, so whatever. That'll be through the week. If you guys have seen the pattern with the way I build characters, Xander was a warrior who focused on dexterity as a primary attribute, and he was a ranged fighter, didn't really do melee, didn't really smash things over the head with things, right? And then the thief, as you see with Kimatu, he was a gladiator. The concept started as a gladiator, but he's a rogue who if I played him longer, strength would be his primary stat, followed by constitution, then dexterity. I've built him as a rogue because of the specialty classes that then open up to the rogue, and some of the rogue abilities, I feel like they just play better for playing out a crowd-pleasing warrior that's a dirty fighter. That's the rogue, even though if you just dump a bunch of strength into it, he's going to be a killer rogue. And so that, I think, is the best model for the gladiator. And so then that takes us to Somli, who is a mage that when I played him tabletop, he had a really high constitution, and the idea behind the constitution, a high constitution mage, was I like the idea of flipping the concept of everyone thinks the mage is weak and it's an easy guy to focus on early attacks on and take out of the fight. But McCain, when I played him tabletop, he always threw the enemy off because that would be the idea. He'd use magic as much as he could, and then in old D&D, you'd run out of magic. You eventually could not cast any more magic, and so he'd default to the crossbow, ping things off, or he'd pull out a dagger and he'd start fighting. And he'd take the hits. He'd have because he had an 18 constitution. So I wanted to see if I can pull that off in Dragon Age. The idea here is the Somli idea, back to tabletop, is because he was a necromancer, but he was going to be this prestige class necromancer where you eventually can armor them up. This was in the old days. You could armor them up in bone armor and stuff like that, and you could they could just be a very constitution. They could be a warrior-esque version of a necromancer. The element of necromancy was never a part of Somli. It was more that he had such a strong devotion to rebirth and fire, which on the world I was playing on, it was the symbol of a phoenix. And so he, in this world, I like a mage that really adheres to Andraste. And there's that piece of lore in Dragon Age where, I forget what they're called, but the ones that they would light themselves on fire that you end up encountering when you go up in the mountains. I think that's friggin' sweet, and I'd have to read more about that because I think he'd be really interested in what all of that is about. He's all about creating golem followers. He saw undead as just another variant of animated thing that would fight for you. He didn't distinguish between undead and golems. It was all about just surround himself with things that could distract while he pinged things off at range or with magic or whatever. So I'm really excited to play the mage. That's actually the next one I have to play and put into the backlog. And then we have the second human I'm going to play is going to be a female knight, if you will, Templar Knight, essentially. I want to be pure. I'm going to try to play what I believe is the kind of Templar I would hate on this world, but I'm going to do it in a way that shows some respect to that, done in a way that doesn't make them seem like complete loose cannons that will just kill a mage. But I think there's ways to argue the whole we can't, for example, the Mage Tower incident. She would align with the Templar and just wipe out the rest of the mages, right? I don't think that she'd do that because she would be doing it for the evil reasons, the way Xander would see that kind of decision. I'd love to see what it'd be like to play a character who sees that as the only decision because it's the right one, and is very validated in that decision. So I think that will be a challenge for me, and I think that would be fun. And then finally, that leads us to the last one, which is going to be a female city elf rogue, who I want to play with the intent of, if I played her further, she'd definitely go into assassin. I don't know what else, but the idea for her, which I feel would be fun, but also kind of like weird to play. Like if you play an elf, people hate the elves, they call them dagger ears, whatever the hell. And I've noticed with Dragon Age, they give you options in the dialogue to throw that back. And it always seems wrong to do because, you know, when you play a character, you try to play something that you envision, or not everybody, or you could play an anti-hero and then that all goes flip-flop. But the type of characters I play, they're not, sometimes they'll be on the edge, but they rarely ever go into that space where you're like, no, I hate that race, and I'm not going to accept anything that I hear. And so I would love to play a city elf that she's kind of kept inside her this deep hatred for humans because of the way the humans treat the elves, in the city elves in particular, like always putting them down. And I would love to see what happens in the game when a human comes at me as a character and it comes at me with racism, like how I can respond back with equal racism. And that's never a good thing, right? But I would love to see how that plays out, or how that would develop a character. So I'm very intrigued about how that plays out. So this is pretty much, this little update here is more an update on Dragon Age, because I really want to get through all that's left in Dragon Age Origins, so we can move on to Dragon Age 2, which I will commit to at the start of next year. I think that I will talk about that a little bit too. Actually, after the Origins, I also want to do all of the DLC content. I'm not including Awakening in that. I will probably start Awakening somewhere around Christmas, and that'll take us into the new year. I'm thinking by February-ish, March, we'll probably start considering Dragon Age 2. Throwing it out there because I honestly don't know. There's a lot of stuff I want to do, and it pretty much took like 9 months to do Dragon Age Origins. So I think I've gotten faster. I've also learning how to just get in a rhythm of things, and so I hope that changes the dynamic of how content comes to the channel quicker. So anyways, that's it. That's for the rest of this month. I promise you all Origins will be recorded. All the DLC content will be recorded. There's a very good chance I will have started Awakening, but it might not hit the channel. And then 2017, we will have a good backlog of content so that when I go full force back into work, I have a good steady backlog that I can attempt to maintain. I think that's it. That's a huge update for this week. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, folks. I'll catch you around next time. Peace, everybody.